Hey everybody, it's Ron, and today I'm going to be reviewing A Whisper of Caladan Seas. This is another one-off Dune tale in the same vein as Blood of the Sardaukar, which I also have a review of, so take a look in the description of this video to check that out as well. So this is once again written by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson with art by Jacob Rebelka, and just like Blood of the Sardaukar, it takes place during the Battle of Arrakeen, and we're introduced to Sergeant Hovit of the Atreides Guard and his men who are trapped in a cave during the fight. So when I heard about this one-shot coming out, I honestly wasn't too excited with the premise. It just seemed kind of like filler, having someone tell his men stories of their homeworld, Caladan, to make them feel better in their final moments. And I think I was half right with that first impression, because it is a little overly dramatic with the main character and his nephew Elto, who's badly injured, and he kind of spells out the premise too much in the dialogue to where it doesn't come off naturally, to me at least. I will say that it was refreshing to see a different art style for these Boom Studios books, and it kind of reminded me of Simon Bisley a little bit, but like a more indie version, if that makes sense. And I also like the art for the flashbacks on Calidan, because I really like the idea of that planet. So it was cool to see the fishing boats and what regular life was like on that planet. I also like that one of the characters has a cage with bats in it to try to send messages out, which is a nice little nod to the books. I think what saves this issue for me is the flashbacks to the beginning of the battle, when we see how these characters got into this situation, because Gurney Halleck makes an appearance, and his outfit is in line with how he looks in the Dune graphic novel, which is a nice touch of continuity. Okay, so now I have to get into my main issue with this book, and that's the idea of House Jonglier. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I've never heard anyone say it. It seems like a new concept. But this House Jonglier, it's an ancient house that had the ability to tell stories so well that it makes people believe that they're actually happening. And I thought this was kind of a cheap attempt to make another type of Mentat or Bene Gesserit kind of faction, but the idea isn't as easy to accept as the other two, because Frank Herbert makes you believe that Mentats and Bene Gesserit sisters could exist, but I'm not really buying this new attempt at that sort of idea. I also have a problem with the ending, and it even reminds me of the ending to the first David Lynch movie, the David Lynch Dune movie, where at the end Paul literally makes it rain on Arrakis, which is not supposed to happen at all because he obviously doesn't have mystical powers or anything. And that's why this ending was really weird, because after the character Hovit tells the men this story of Caladan and they die, the Fremen find the bodies overflowing with water, and I thought it was just supposed to be in their mind and not actually happening in real life, just because they were imagining that they were swimming in the seas of Caladan. So that's definitely where it lost me. It became totally unrealistic and doesn't work with the Dune universe and the certain rules and lore presented in all those books so far. So yeah, unfortunately this one didn't really work for me. I don't think they need to do sort of filler stuff like this, because there's so much you could do with the Dune universe in comic book form, and you can adapt all of the books, and it would be more interesting than this. I'm still looking forward to more Dune comics. I just hope they do an adaptation of House Harkonnen next, and maybe some spin-offs about other events and planets aside from just Arrakis and the Battle of Arrakeen. So please be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content, and thanks for watching. Hey everyone, it's Ron here with a quick announcement. When I started this channel, I was reading and reviewing the Dune books and other sci-fi related material, and most of you might not know that I'm also a musician. So when I was reading these sci-fi books, I started to get inspired and decided to make my own soundtrack to use for my videos, and now I'm excited to tell you all about the first volume in the Ron Reviews original soundtrack collection. This album includes the first 17 tracks featured on my channel, and it's available now exclusively on Bandcamp. Be sure to check the description of this video for the link to the album. Thanks so much for the support so far. I know I'm just starting out, but I hope you're having as much fun as I am. So check out the original soundtrack Volume 1 on Bandcamp. This music is great if you want something moody and atmospheric to listen to while you're reading some science fiction. I think you're going to love it. Thanks.